before there were any humans on this earth. The animals could talk to each other, just like you and I. And at that time, the skunk had a coat that was pure white. And oh, he was so proud of this coat that he would walk through the woods with his nose in the air, thinking he was better than anybody else. And this made the other animals angry, and they thought to teach him a lesson. And as he was walking through the woods one day, he heard someone call him from the trees. "Skunk, look, aren't my feathers fine today?" And he looked up, and there was a bluebird spreading his wings as far as they could go. And he said, "Yes, your feathers are fine today, but not as fine as my coat. Nothing can be as fine as that." And sticking his nose in the air, he continued on down the pathway into the woods. A little while later, he came across a deer, cleaning and sharpening his horns against a tree. Deer said, "Skunk, look, aren't my horns fine